Tomorrow Never Knows didn't start with a guitar riff, rather with a book. John Lennon had been reading The Psychedelic Experience, which was a guide to LSD based on Tibetan spiritual ideas, and John was trying to describe what it felt like to let go of your identity and drift somewhere way beyond it. The lyrics come straight from that mindset, calm, detached, and repetitive on purpose.
Turn off your mind, relax and float downstream.
This is one of the clearest examples of a Beatles song built from a real experience rather than a narrative. It's Lennon translating an acid trip into sound. But the band didn't really have a roadmap for how they wanted it to sound. Paul had been experimenting at home with tape loops, just recording bits of sound and turning them into repeating cycles. He showed up to EMI Studios with a bag of these loops, and the session quickly turned into something closer to an experiment than one of their normal recordings. Multiple tape machines were set up around the room, each playing a different loop. There were distorted instruments, orchestral fragments, and a strange, high-pitched sound that resembles seagulls but is actually just Paul's laughter, sped up and altered a bit. The final mix had to be performed live, with engineers bringing sounds in and out by hand as the tapes rolled. At the center of it all is a drum pattern that barely moves. Ringo plays a steady, almost mechanical beat that locks the entire track into place. To get that heavy and pulsing sound, Geoff Emerick pushed past EMI's usual rules by placing microphones unusually close and then dampening the drums for extra weight. And over that, George Martin and Emerick ran Lennon's voice through a Leslie speaker to give it a swirling, distant quality. Because John had asked to sound like a monk who was chanting from a mountaintop, but this was about as close as they could get with the technology they had. And as you can imagine, the session was pretty unpredictable. Tape loops had to be stretched across the room, sometimes held in place with pencils or whatever was nearby, just to keep them from slipping. They would fall out of sync, tangle, or behave differently from one pass to the next. And then the entire track just sits on a single C chord, which went against everything expected from a pop song in 1966. Instead of chord changes driving the song forward, it's just the texture and layering that create the whole movement. When this song came out, it was truly the start of something special, and pop music would never be the same. And even though it feels like a beginning, Tomorrow Never Knows closes Revolver. It was actually the first song recorded for the album, but it ended up as the final statement. It's the point where everything the band had been building towards suddenly clicked into place. Rather than telling you a story, it drops you into a state of mind and leaves you there. By the time it fades out, you've left the realm of listening to a Beatles song, and you've transitioned into a whole new state of mind.